Oop. You there, Pascal? Hello and welcome to Richmond International Raceway for the 5th round of the SRL SAL US F2000 Championship. My name's Ed. We are just looking at Richmond Oval, America's premier oval. Left, obviously, it's anti-clockwise, left-hander track rather than the Apple Valley that we saw earlier. And we see 6 cars out on track at the moment. I believe the 7th one is trying to join the server in the middle of qualifying. We'll have to see if that happens as we look at Callum Hambley sliding the rear out and collecting the barriers at the end. So didn't quite finish that lap, but lap times here will of course be very short, 21 seconds, as you can see. So expect things to be very tight from top to bottom. And of course, we didn't stream last time out at Road Atlanta, unfortunately. We just couldn't get anyone to stream in time. So that, of course, the first race was run by Sven Gilhead, and I have no idea what happened in the second race because nobody told me. But apparently it was chaotic. So nobody's done the points yet from the last round, so I think Sven Gilhead can wrap up the title today, given the lead he had going into Road Atlanta, because no one could be bothered to do the points in the week leading up to this race. I sort of have to guess what happened. Again, because no one streamed it, so I couldn't really tell you, unfortunately. But to be fair, I was kind of ill last week, so it didn't work out too badly. As we see the qualifying laps continue, and it looks like Hambley again in the Tesco liveried USF 2000 number 28 continues to set the pace from Gilhead, but only by a very slender margin, less than a tenth of a second. There's Gearhead now. Could well be on a quicker lap. Hard to tell, really. As we go on board. But Gearhead certainly went into Road Atlanta with like a 30-point lead or something like that. Well, he didn't have a great run at Watkins Glen, not winning either race. But he certainly got things back on track at Road Atlanta as we look at... as that Valente goes second there. With a very quick time, but Gearhead almost quickly takes it off him. Oh, look at that, 5/1000ths of a second between Gearhead and Callum Hambley. So those two really battling it out for pole position, which could be not the be-all and end-all here, because you will get a little bit of slipstream as we see Gearhead abandoning and restarting his run. Still got 4 minutes 20 seconds left to go, so... And with the lap times being so short here, you can shove quite a few in as Valente, Alessandro Valente, takes provisional pole with a time of 21.238. 7/1000ths of a second ahead of Callum Hambley's best effort. But Hambley's not giving up just yet. It's been one of the stars of the season. It's been some very sterling performances. Very unlucky, I think, not to win a race so far, as we see Hambley gets a little bit too far to the inside, risking a bit too much, and round it goes. The rear really unsettled through these banked corners at times. Let's look at Joe Gaustistis, and looks like the third Monkey Esports, with Gearhead and Valente being the other two. And Joe goes right to the inside, tries to get the quickest run he can, but still only good enough for fourth, but just a tenth shy of Valente's best effort. So, as predicted, the margins are very narrow, as actually Eric Comedy is just pipped by Danny Robbins in the 22. We are expecting, even with only about 6 or 7 cars, quite a bit of chaos in this event. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a repeat of Apple Valley in a safety car release. So race direction's certainly going to need to be on its toes tonight. And given the controversy surrounding safety cars in Formula 1 at the present moment, after events in Abu Dhabi, it will probably be for the best if there isn't a safety car. So hopefully, on this short 21-second layout per lap, the drivers are able to keep it clean. Gearhead really takes as much as he can. He's got a purple first sector, of course. Is this going to be good enough to improve his time? A little bit, but he was slower in the last 2 sectors. Of course, the sectors not being very long here. But so Gearhead, 11/1000ths of a second behind Valente. Very close to Hambley, of course. Even closer to Hambley. So there's not a lot in it. It is really just about maximising your corner speed through effectively 2 corners here. It's very different to Apple Valley indeed, that not only is it much shorter, but the banking, you really do have to take more of a traditional racing line. At Apple Valley, you could just sort of afford to stay to the inside a lot of the time and you would always get the best run, but you do sort of need to build up speed a bit more here. As we see Hambley, he has a best middle sector of anyone, but it's only 1/1000th of a second, which is not quite enough to get him the best lap overall as we go into the final minute and a half. But I could cram maybe 4 laps into that. Sounded like there's a bit of a smash there, but all good as Eric Comedy, the Team RNG, gets going. Of course, I'm personally very happy to see Eric Comedy and Alessandro Valente fighting in this championship, because they're both drivers I've hired for my ERC touring car team. So I'll be very interested to not only commentate on them in the new year, but also hope to see them doing well. Of course, showing what they can do here in single-seaters, but they should be just as good in touring cars. And there's a support series to the Endurance Championship there that I'll also be commentating on. But Eric Comedy continues to try and get himself off the back of the grid. Experience on the ovals can be quite handy as we go into the last 30 seconds. You know, it looks to me like Valente is probably, as we see him set a purple final sector here, and go just a few thousandths faster. They go 21.235 as Valente spins, so he's not going to get another run in. Hambly will get another one in. He's got a purple middle sector. What's this going to be like as he goes towards the line? Here we go. This is going to be a very quick run from Callum Hambly. Is it good enough for Paul? No! That final sector just let him down slightly. And that's it. Qualifying about to end then. So it is going to be Valente on pole. As you look at Joe Gaustistis. Oh, just losing the rear end and getting a horrible swapper on and spinning 720 degree, more than that actually. As it must feel very dizzy. Gets a couple of 360 degree spins in there. And Hambly will have to give up the ghost then. It will not be pole. It will be Alessandro Valente starting on pole from Callum Hambly, Sven Gielhed, Joe Gaustistis, Danny Robbins, and Eric Kamedi. And that is the 6 drivers we'll be seeing in action then in a few minutes' time once the warm-up elapses then. So as predicted, a close qualifying second. The field separated by only 0.6 of a second. But the top 4 particularly all within 1/10. So Joe actually did improve a bit towards the end there. So we should see quite a bit of drama once things get going. So we've seen plenty of drama today in Formula One. Not all of it without controversy. So this passes without quite so much controversy. There we go. Confirmation then of the grid order. Alessandro Valente. I don't believe there are any outstanding penalties that I've been informed of. So this should be the order then. With Valente on pole from Hambly, 10 thousandths of a second ahead of behind rather. Then Sven Gielhed, 5 thousandths of a second behind Callum Hambly. Joe Gaustistis just within a tenth of Alessandro Valente. Then Danny Robbins a couple of tenths back, and then Eric Kamedi 2 tenths behind Danny Robbins. So that's your entire grid. It's only going to be 6 cars, I'm afraid. A shame because we don't have any clashing series today. I guess everyone's just so absorbed with the post-race controversy in Abu Dhabi that they don't have time to go over to Richmond. Of course, as I said, America's a premier short track, small field, and a short track, so we shouldn't have to worry too much about traffic unless someone gets into incidents. Excuse me. But yeah, certainly my second commentary on an oval race, and having to do it alone, so let's hope I don't mess this up too much. But certainly this has been an educational experience so far, and this should be a short warm-up, but it's just fine. As we look at the infield, we get a great view of all the coaches and team transporters and trucks and motorhomes. Well, not motorhomes really. It's a very old school NASCAR style track, although it has hosted IndyCar on occasion too, believe it or not. But yeah, very popular circuit, Richmond in Virginia, of course. Can't remember if it's West Virginia or East Virginia. I'll look it up actually while we're waiting. Used to be in Virginia State Fairground actually. Of course, it's in Henrico County, which is in, of course. Oh, it would be, I guess, East Virginia, yeah. So there we go, learning something new every day about American geography. But certainly we should see some real hot action once the grid forms up, and I don't think Sven Gielhed can seal it in the first race. He might be able to in the second race. I apologise for the coughing. I've just had a sore throat all week, and it's really taken it out of me sometimes. But it's December, I guess. Just glad I don't have the don't think I have the Omicron variant because I did a test and it came out negative. So I'm assuming that was a week ago, of course, when I was feeling a lot worse. Been feeling slightly better as the week's gone on. Doesn't help doing all this talking, of course, but needs must. And there's no one else to talk to, so apart from, of course, our brilliant race director, Pascal. Broadcast director, Pascal, of course, the race being directed by Emily Callison, as we see. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I have to cough because it's hard to laugh sometimes, but we just had a little blip there. But I believe the server's just been reset and the grid will be forming up fairly soon. Although the graphics seems to say it's qualifying. Hopefully that's... no, it's warm-up, of course, still. So any minute now, we will see the guy. There they are, popping in the garage. We should see them on the starting grid. But of course, it will be a rolling start. So they'll already be in motion. I imagine they'll do what they did at Apple Valley, where they form up at the end of the pit lane. And then suddenly they're transported to the starting grid because they like to skip the whole warm-up lap. For rolling starts, at least. So they should start behind the safety car. The safety car will be released. Will release the field, I think. And Valente will lead them away. And of course, Alessandro Valente won in dramatic circumstances the last time we were at an oval in Apple Valley. Despite being plonked in the barriers, he was able to restart, to get back into the race. And then slipstream everyone, make his way back through to win. He'll be hoping he's a much smoother path to victory this time. But Hambly and Gilhead are going to give him a very hard time indeed. Gilhead wants to win the championship. Hambly wants to take his first win. Unlucky, he missed out in Portland, and he missed out in Watkins Glen as well. To, I believe it was Durand Kuzmierz in Watkins Glen. It was Gilhead, of course, in Portland on the very final lap. In both instances, Hambly lost the lead. As there we go. Sounds like the grid is being formed up. Everyone will have to be well alert as we get going in Richmond. And because of delays, both of the races are going to be about 15 minutes, which, given the length of the track, makes sense. So let's see if there's anyone in chat before we get going. As actually, we are going to get form up on the grid, it seems. We're not going to start behind safety car. And it could very well actually be a standing start, so... Oh! Well, somebody didn't get the memo there. That's Hambly, I think. We're about to start in a couple of seconds, and it looked like a Kamedi who's for some reason starting ahead of Robbins. Well, there we go. So the field being released. Is this the warm-up lap then? It looks like it is. But certainly looks like Cal Hambly has made a bit of a break for it. Perhaps he thought that was the real start. But he's left the free Monkey Esports cars and the two independent entries of Kamedi and Danny Robbins for dust. But it's actually showing Hambly being 7 seconds behind then. So I think Hambly's trying to retake his position, which is why everyone's going so slowly. But I'm not sure what Callum's really playing at, if I'm being perfectly honest. There he is. So he's shown up early, but he shouldn't really have jumped the leader. It's a very odd breach of procedure there. I guess Callum a bit impatient. Tyres are going to cool down a lot too. But Valente, of course, will not have the same problem. He hasn't got to wait for too many behind him. And here's Gilhead. What can he do with potentially the title almost within grasp? Ooh, that looked like a Joe Gostistis just sliding in. As we look at Valente taking up his pole position. Of course, with two teammates behind him, but Hambly, the big threat, on the right, and then Gilhead behind it directly. So, who's going to slipstream each other? The race gets going now! And look like Robbins may have had a bit of a jump start, but Hambly around the outside of Alessandro Valente looking to take the lead here, but Valente's going to have the inside line as Geelhead tucks in behind, as he's got Joe Gus has made a horrible start because Robbins and Comedy have both jumped him. I don't think Comedy or Robbins jumped the start, but we'll have to see, as now Geelhead has actually got problems behind it. Danny Robbins all over him, so it looks like Geelhead is not going to have things his own ways. Comedy starts to attack Robbins, and now Valente tucks out behind Hambley, and now, oh, they made contact there. The rear just touched the front left tyre of Callum Hambley. And I have a feeling this is going to go back and forth for a while now. Let's hope that they don't take each other out as Hambley tucks into the slipstream looking to get revenge once again. As actually he lags out. Oh, and hits Sven Gillhead. Oh, big accident there as Robbins is collected in it. So that puts Valente into lead. Comedy is out now as well. So not sure what happened there. We might be on for a restart as Valente slows down to enter the pits. But that happened because of Callum Hambley having what looked like a netcode or disconnection there. As now Sven, despite being spun around there, has emerged in the lead because Valente's gone into the pits along with Joe Casistis. I need to figure out how to say Joe's last name properly, but now Robbins, who was also there we go. There's a safety car. That's why. So Valente and Joe Casistis is pitting under the safety car. Comedy's out. I assume he was the one collecting the accident. Maybe not Danny Robbins. Oh, Hambley just catches up. That was a real problematic moment for him there. Not really his fault at all. The internet lagged out on him, and he sort of found himself right next to Sven. Couldn't avoid him, and the two were spun around. Now, really, Gillhead, once his safety car period ends, is going to find himself with a couple of angry drivers behind him looking for revenge, potentially. Oh, and Hambley bumps Danny Robbins almost ahead of Gillhead there. That was a bit dirty. I think Hambley was caught out there once again. As we see, oh, Valente and Joe unlapping themselves, of course, which they are permitted to do under the safety car. Again, another controversial thing from Abu Dhabi F1 that has made its way in here. But the lap cars are allowed to unlap themselves. That's within the rules. We'll see how long this safety car period lasts. I believe it's an AI driving the safety car. But certainly now, the event thrown into confusion with only 5 cars remaining. I'm not sure what took Comedy out. So Valente is going to rejoin the rear of the field ahead of Joe. Is he ahead of Joe? Because Joe hit after him, but it seems Joe got ahead before. I'm not sure why they're swapping positions with one another. The field's formed up now, so just about ready to restart the race, I imagine. So we should see the safety car in any minute, and Valente now with it all to do. Interesting decision to pit, but he will have the fresher tyres, of course, as will Joe. Gostistis. Oh, that's Robbins getting very twitchy behind Geelhead. I think Robbins may be getting ready for an attack here, because he didn't really have anywhere to go. He sort of ran into the Geelhead Hambley incident, and now finds himself sandwiched between them. And I think Hambley will be the most annoyed, because he was leading that one. We still got 10 minutes to go, and the safety car should be coming in any minute now. At the end of this lap, I imagine, because there's no more incident to collect with Comedy teleported back to the pits. And interesting, instead of Subway, the ad in the grandstand says no way. So that was kind of my reaction to the crash there, as we see the safety car pulling in and Geelhead getting ready to release the field. Here we go then, 10 minutes remaining in our first race. There will be a second reverse grid race, which Comedy, I assume, will be let back into. Geelhead waiting for his moment, waiting to cross the line, and Danny Robbins looking to pounce as Joe Casistis gets a penalty, I believe, potentially for breaking procedure there, as he's let Valente back through. And hard to see what's happening here, but oh! Robbins gets hit by Hambley just in the rear and just able to continue, but Valente brilliantly squeezed past everyone. Hambly had a horrible restart there and is now 3 seconds down. And I think Joe got caught up in that one too. It was hard to see because we were on the far angle as we look at Robbins about to be overtaken by Valente. Still fighting with Valente actually, as Geelhead has now got Joe a lap down. So he's lapped Joe. And Joe trying to unlap himself. There we go. And my throat trying to depart the race. As Valente sets a new best lap of the race and takes the lead from Geelhead. So Joe has held up Geelhead there. And Sven finds himself slotting into second place. So it's all worked out in back the way it was, with Valente leading. But now he's got his teammate behind. And then Joe a lap down behind them. And then Danny Robbins in third. So it is really a personal battle now between the two Monkey Esports drivers in the last 8 minutes. Everyone was fearing this would be a crash fest. And even with only 6 cars, that's the way it's gone, isn't it? So Sven now has got to figure out a way around Alessandro Valente. But it definitely seems like Valente's got the edge here. Sven will have to be crafty, take a few risks potentially. Hambly about 5 seconds behind, but remember it's only a 20-second lap. So if Hambly loses too much more ground, he could be lapped before the end. And that could well influence how this battle plays out. There's Callum Hambly. Okay, unlucky to be tagged by Danny Robbins there. I think there might be harsh words after this one. But Sven remaining in the slipstream, but not quite close enough to get the overspeed that he needs. And Alessandro keeping it clean so far, not making any little slip-ups that would allow Sven through. But the pressure's only going to build in the next 7.5 minutes. Sven looks to the inside, has a think about it. Look at the reverse camber on these USF 2000 cars. There's sort of inverse camber to make sure that they get the maximum run through these left-hand anti-clockwise corners. It's a good thing they don't simulate the G-forces on the neck here, because this would be killer. As we look at Valente actually going to the inside, going really defensive here. That could compromise his exit. And Sven knows that. Look at him getting as big a run as possible. So we've got Valente on the inside and Sven on the outside. Is Geelhead going to be able to make anything of this as he tucks back into the racing line? Looks like Valente has held on. But that was quite risky. Of course, they've got Robbins 2 seconds behind. So they can't really afford to bump into one another. And I do think Hambly and Robbins are a bit too far apart to fight, so it's really the lead here that all our attention should quite rightly be focused on. You can see for yourself, Sven is just calculating, biding his time, looking for that little opportunity. But Valente, making sure the rear of the car is as wide as possible, goes to the middle of the road. Sven follows, Sven goes to the outside. And he's now going to try and go all the way around the outside of Alessandro Valente. Can he pull this one? Oh, I think Valente's in trouble here. He's got the inside. How late is he going to go? He's not going to have to do much here. There, Sven turps right around the outside and brilliantly takes the lead at Richmond. But Valente's not done with him yet. We've still got 6 minutes to go. Of course, he's still got a wheel alongside. And he's going to go up the inside into turn 1. But Geelhead's still there. The wheels just inches apart. And Geelhead brilliantly holds onto the throttle, so it's taken 2 laps to complete that move, but now he's done it, and Valente finds himself staring enviously at the gearbox of his teammate Geelhead, who now looks like he could be taking yet another first race victory. I think that would be his 3rd or 4th of the season. This is round 5, of course, and Valente tucking right back in. He's not giving up. Why should he? He really is the closest rival to Sven across the season, it must be said. Given the patchy attendance records, and Valente goes for the inside. Oh, and just backs out. Just manages to avoid contact with Sven Geelhead, but Geelhead on the outside here still gets the better run, but looks a bit vulnerable as Valente again thinks about the inside. Thinks better of it. Still got 5 minutes to go, of course. And the two have done pretty well not to take each other out as they start to drop Hambly, who's gotten ahead of Robbins while we've been watching this. Those two have been all having their about 4 seconds back. And it looks like Joe is part of that too. So we got a three-way little fight here as Danny Robbins is about to be overtaken by Joe Gostistis. Joe goes down the inside. Nothing Danny Robbins can do. Is he nursing damage from that earlier contact? Remember, they didn't pit, of course. Valente and Joe did. It looks like Robbins has still got a little bit of straight line speed. He thinks about the inside, but Joe has got it covered. And meanwhile, Valente still within a couple of tenths of his teammate for the lead. There they are. You can see for yourself what the situation is then, with Gilhead just starting to pull away, keeping that minimum speed up high for the corner. Oh, the rear has to think about letting go. That's the problem when you build up a lead like this. You can get too comfortable, and all of a sudden the rear goes round, and you're in. We saw that so many times in qualifying, and the drivers really treading on eggshells with the throttle to make sure they keep it under control here. But Valente taking a little bit of advantage, but not quite able to think about doing a move yet. Could Valente save it for the very final lap? We'll have to see. Still got 3 minutes left, which is quite a lot of laps around here. As we get the battle graphic, last lap time, there we go, 21.9 for Valente. He again tucks in. And Gilhead we'll start to have getting defense. We'll start to have to get defensive in a minute, because here we go. As wide as he goes, Valente is getting this beautiful slipstream through the massive hole in the air that his teammate is creating, and that's allowing him to just get up that little bit of speed on the straights. But of course, it's barely a straight before they're in the corner again. And oh, here we go! This is risky. He bumps into the side, and oh, Valente just about manages to avoid taking his teammate out there, but that was a desperate lunge there, and Gilhead held firm. Was not intimidated, but Valente really wanted that lead back, and thought there was an opening, but the car understeered into the side. And now we see Hambly and Joe Gostistis. Joe really making the best of those new tyres. Hambly, oh, bumps into the side, into the back of Joe, sorry, and slightly less dramatic than Valente's incident with his teammate. Valente's still 6 tenths behind, so could mount a challenge, but Hambly now off the podium. Still 3 seconds ahead of Danny Robbins. Robbins, I think, will be able to stay on the lead lap then, so really Valente is going to have to do it all on his own, as we see the tyres starting to go, I think, on the crashed racing car of Callum Hambly, which has been in the wars a few times. There we go. Look at the rear stepping out as Joe Gostistis pulls further and further away. And I think Valente is clawed back a tenth on Sven Gilhead, but 1 minute 40 left to go. It's going to take a bit of a miracle here for Alessandro Valente to win this one. But Gilhead has, apart from being nudged by Callum Hambly at the beginning, has managed to stay out of trouble and manage this superbly. Even the fresher tyres have not allowed Alessandro Valente to get the upper hand. But now he's clawed back the gap, so are the tyres starting to go on Sven Gilhead's car as we go into the final minute? So just a couple of laps left then. And Sven looking a little vulnerable, but Valente has got a decreasing number of opportunities here. He's got a brilliant run though onto the back straight, but Sven sees it coming, moves to the inside, but Valente still sticking there and getting the wheels alongside. But can he get a decent run up the inside here? I don't think it's going to be enough yet. We could see a dead heat here at the finish if we're not careful. 30 seconds to go. Oh, he barged into the side again. And Valente really getting the elbows out and just about able to squeeze ahead of Sven Gilhead. We're approaching what's going to be the final lap here. Sven's still on the outside. They both spin. Oh, now how did they keep that under? Sven holding on to the lead by the skin of his teeth. But this is going to be the last lap then, because the timer will run out before they reach the line. So it's one final corner to go. It's now or never for Alessandro Valente if he wants to win this one. I think Sven has just done enough. Oh, here we go. Oh, that was never going to work, Alessandro. Sven survives yet another onslaught and wins the Richmond International Raceway Race 1 in SRL and gets one step further to the championship. I think if he wins race 2 now, that could be it. There we go as Joe takes third position. And Hambley will take 4th, Robbins takes 5th. And as we saw at the start, all the drivers giving each other more than a little bit of contact at the end. But here we go. A very entertaining battle up front. Shame that it was marred by the contact there. I think Hambley and Robbins and Joe even could have been big factors in the victory there, but it ended up being a two-way battle between the Monkey Esports drivers and Sven Gielhed through cunning and wiles came out on top in race 1. So shall we take a look at the final results then? Not that it'll take long to recap, of course. Here we are. So confirmation then, Sven Gielhed takes victory, maximum points once again from race 1. Just from Alessandro Valente. Valente was in the lead pit when the safety car came out for the collision. And then lost the lead, couldn't quite get it back despite 2 or 3 really attempts where he drove almost into the side of Sven Gielhed, but full marks, he didn't put Gielhed into the wall, so it wasn't too dirty, but it will be interesting to see what is said afterwards. Joe takes his first podium of the season in the third, so it's Monkey Esports 1-2-3, perfect result for them, ahead of Callum Hambley and Danny Robbins, who will be disappointed, but they still finished 4th and 5th, and Eric Kamady, who failed to finish. Let's hope Eric Kamady has better luck next time in race 2, but it will be, I believe, Danny Robbins starting on pole, on reverse group pole, of course. So there's your results then. I believe we might be going straight into race 2 now, by the sounds of things. And Alessandro has released a little comment into the Discord chat saying, I want Sven gone. So clearly he's not particularly happy with the way Sven got past and then defended. So did feel a little desperate to me from Valente near the end there, but like I said, he didn't exactly feed. He could have fed into the wall and didn't do that. Looks like Eric Kamady won't be joining us for race 2, so it will just be 5 cars then, unfortunately. Setting off on this warm-up lap then. I do hope Kamady hasn't just gone for a drink of water. I mean, I could do with one of those right now. And then miss the start. Restart, sorry. Hambley will start second again, of course, but that didn't do him too well last time. Just got to hope that the internet holds on this occasion. But Gielhed, he's at the back. He's won from the back before, but often he's not had too many competitors to slice through, so I wouldn't bet against another Valente Gielhed battle here. But Robbins and Hambley got a fresh chance to make amends for race 1. And then, of course, you've got Joe in the middle. Not sure how he'll go. But let's hope that they're able to keep it clean in the first few laps this time. I'm not feeling too confident, though. So we'll see how this pans out. And Nick Pon also was not impressed by Sven's driving. Or maybe they're just annoyed that Sven keeps winning the first race. Who knows? Anyway, in a few seconds' time, we'll get the last race of the day underway. The green has got the flag ready, and it drops now! And the field is away! And a brilliant start for Sven Gielhed. He jumps Joe Gostistis, who makes a terrible getaway. Absolutely abysmal there. But Robbins holds the lead from Hambley and Valente. Oh, Valente very close to the back of Hambley. And all 4 in a line then. So this is going to be the battle then. As we look at Valente, gets a very big drift on, and Hambley goes wide too. Through go the 2 Monkey Esports cars. So Callum Hambley, another difficult start for him, but still just about in touch with Robbins leading, and Valente looking for the outside of Robbins. Ready, about. But, oh, Hambley's got the triple slipstream here. Needs to make sure he doesn't bump into the back of Gielhed. Here we go to the outside then. Goes around Sven Gielhed. He tries to go around Alessandro Valente. And now trying to go around the outside of Danny Robbins. Oh, what a brilliant recovery from Callum Hambley. He's the best lap of the race so far. Ducks in and then makes contact And back through goes Sven Gielhed as Valente and Gielhed once again take the lead from Robbins, who is just outfoxed a little bit there, and Hambly will get by him too down the inside, but not before a little bit of contact. You get a little traditional Callum Hambly French kiss, and here comes Joe Goss. This is joining the battle. Oh, and Robbins didn't see him. And spins round. Oh, I think that was a little careless from Danny Robbins, but thankfully he hasn't lost more ground. Here we go. It's looking like a freeway battle now between Hambly, Gielhed, and Valente, but Valente once again finds herself in the lead with Sven Gielhed all over the back of him. But now Hambly could really stop Gielhed from placing his car where he wants to place it, because as soon as he tries to move up the inside, Hambly could sweep around the outside, as he did so effectively just a few laps ago. Oh, but it's the inside that takes Callum's fancy on this occasion, and he bumps into the wall, but just brushes off it, luckily. I hope that wasn't too much damage. But look at this, Gielhed once more locked in a personal battle with Valente. It looks like Hambly is going to have to go some to recover from that bump with the wall there. Let's hope it's not too badly damaged in terms of the suspension, because he's got Joe right behind him now. As we look at Sven, having a think about the lead, but it's Joe who sets the fastest lap now, as he tucks in right behind Callum Hambly. But Sven looking very, very threatening indeed, as Hambly actually starts to close in a little bit. As you sense Sven just a bit delayed here, goes for the outside, but Valente will have the inside, at least for turn one. Hambly gets the grandstand view of the two Monkey Esports drivers. It's Valente on the inside on the left, but Gielhed gets a great run around the outside, and he's going to sweep through ahead of him and cuts across. Oh, but Valente's still there on the inside. He can't turn in where he wants to. It's going to be a bit harder than that, my friend. As we look at Hambly once again brushing the wall, trying to get a little bit too much speed. And Valente holds on as Joe, completely out of nowhere, gets in front of Callum Hambly. You didn't expect that one. Is Gielhed now on the inside? Is it? No, Gielhed on the outside. Valente has now lost the lead once again. Gielhed holds his nerve once again with 6 minutes to go. It's Gielhed in the box seats. Valente right behind him as Hambly. Oh, the damage. It must be more extreme than we thought. He's really hit the wall now and lost a lot of speed. And now dropped to the very back of the field. I think Hambly could be in danger of being lapped if he's not careful. Valente, twice now in 2 races he's been overtaken by Sven Gielhed. He wants revenge, doesn't he? And who can blame him? Fed up most of the season playing second fiddle to his teammate. The one time he didn't have to play second fiddle in a battle against him was, of course, at Apple Valley, where they worked together, and then Valente had Sven in his slipstream the whole race, and Sven, as we see Valente going for the inside. Oh, is he going to feed Sven into the wall? No, he keeps it very clean. But Sven still able to hold on by keeping his minimum speed quite high. Didn't work for Valente, did it? I could have done with a break between the 2 races. My throat is killing me. But for Valente, no rest for the wicked here. He's got 5 minutes to get back on terms with Sven Gielhed. Can he do it here? It's going to be a big ask, but he's going to have to take quite a few risks to get the run with the slipstream that he needs to get in front. And we see Callum Hambly about to go a lap down here. That could really affect things, because Sven will have to negotiate that red, the dark blue and red Pesco car, as we see, Valente going through, and Hambly wisely goes for the pit lane through the apron, so that he doesn't have to be lapped on track and cause an issue. So that was actually quite sensible. Robbins is about 8 seconds behind Joe, so Joe not completely out of this battle for the lead yet, but gradually dropping back as the seconds tick by. We've only 4.5 minutes left. Valente looks hungry here. I don't think Gielhed can feel safe just yet. But certainly, I don't have the points on me because they still haven't updated them for the last round, but I think Sven is in a sort of potentially title-winning position here, given the gap that he's got. With only 2 races left, of course, in the finale at Road America after this. Oh, that was a bit of a compromised line from Sven here. Valente gets a great run. Oh! Sideways into the wall there. Lucky to get away with that one, actually. That shows the risk that Alessandro Valente is pushing to catch up with his teammate. He's still annoyed. What happened in the previous race will rankle. And again, Gilhead goes defensive. And again, Valente thinks about the inside. Does he go for it? Of course he does. This is Alessandro Valente we're talking about, but it doesn't do him any good. The speed building up once again with 3 minutes to go. And Valente knows that he will have to set this one up really well. As we see Hambly 3 laps down has just set the fastest lap. So you can actually go a lot faster when you're not battling with someone else. Even with the slipstream playing its part. And here we go. Oh, that's late, but he got a brilliant run out of the line. They bump into the side, and this could be the move. Alessandro Valente, he inches ahead, but Sven is still there around the outside. Here we go, and they almost touch again. But once more, Sven was able to hold on and recover. Oh! There's a little bit of contact there, the front wheel touching the rear wheel of Gilhead. But yet again, Gilhead almost indestructible, it seems. The car surviving another hard knock. And Valente, I think he might get quite desperate now, like he did at the very end of race 1. Gilhead punching a hole in the air. Valente just going for the outside, just trying to get the maximum run that he can. But will he hold off until the final lap to make his move? Or can he not afford to? Because if he drops back now, that could be it. Here we go, tucking back into the slipstream once again. Sven can't really break away, given the nature of the circuit. And once again, Valente goes for the wider line, maximum speed. Oh, bumps the rear, so there wasn't anywhere to go there. Can't see Sven losing this one now. I think Valente, it's all a bit of a fraught effort here. But what can he do with a minute, 30 seconds remaining? And that's very wide. And Sven will get, once again, very defensive. Does he move to the inside? Oh, it's too late. Valente's got a wheel alongside. So here we go. Into the last corner. Once again, he has to think about the exit and the car on his right. Valente can't quite complete the move. He can get it started, but he can't complete it. And Sven controlling things superbly well. Driving the widest USF 2000 car you've ever seen. Once again, Valente attacks. Oh, gets really far along the inside. Has done it. Well, I'm going to have to eat those words there. 50 seconds, 2 more laps, I believe. So it's not over yet, but Sven now bumped out of the way almost. Will he get aggressive and retaliate here? He's got this lap on 1 more to go. It looks like Robbins is about to be lapped now too. Such is the pace of the leaders here. But Sven may not wrap the title up today. We will get another lap in, I think. So Sven will get another go, and we could lap Robbins before the end, unless Robbins dies for the pit lane here. What's going to happen now? Robbins stays out. And now Valente's got 4 attempts between himself and Gilhead. As we go into the final lap of the race. Oh, and Valente spins! That wasn't the final lap, my friend. That wasn't the final lap. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. Valente's blown it. Down to 30 goes as Joe takes second. But was that a genuine mistake? Or did he think that was the final lap? Gilhead crosses the line and takes 2 victories in a row. And I think that is the title almost certainly sewn up for Sven Gilhead. He's driven brilliantly all season. There's still 2 rounds to go, of course. But it's all a bit of a foregone conclusion there. But Valente threw it away there. Needlessly. It's almost like he forgot that there was still a couple of seconds left in the race. Unless, of course, I have got it wrong. And the broadcaster got it wrong. But I'm pretty sure there was still a couple of 5 or 4 seconds left when he crossed the line. So there was another lap to do. And sadly, he couldn't quite hold on. But Joe, surprisingly, gets his best finish of the season with second, and well deserved too. But all 5 drivers finished the race then, with Hambly and Robbins quite distant behind the podium finishes. But looks like Antonio Nippon apologising in chat. But there we go. There's your finishes, everyone. Looks like a provisional, provided the results get confirmed and there are no penalties, a provisional champion of the SRL Formula USF 2021 season is Sven Gielhed, who wins ahead of Joe Gostistis and Alessandro Valente, who drove so well right until lighting up the rears on that final lap and throwing away a victory. And that he must be kicking himself after that. And full sympathy for him on that one, because it's such an easy mistake to make. Danny Robbins started on pole, but was outfoxed, outmaneuvered, and outdragged really down to 4th. And then Callum Hambly, again, sort of getting into trouble, brushed the wall one too many times, and fell too many laps down in the end. But a valiant effort from all 5 drivers who put, and Eric Comedi too, who put on, despite the small showing on this little circuit in East Virginia, they put on quite a show. So hopefully we can get some interviews now. Well, it doesn't look like anyone wants to do an interview yet, so we'll just have to fill until then. And by we, I mean I, of course. But there we go. Certainly not. The race is not without incident, but defined really by those battles between Sven Gielhed and Alessandro Valente. Let's see if we can drag Callum in. Callum and Danny waiting for an interview. So we've just been joined now by Callum Hambly.
Yo.
Callum, so starting second in both races, but ultimately disappointment in both. Looked like in the first race there was a bit of lag for you, because you were in second, challenging for the lead, and then suddenly you were into the side of Sven Gielhed, with neither of you having time to react and causing a big safety car. Was that what happened there?
Yeah, I saw the car in front jump forward, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." I thought they had a screen free, so when I went to move up, I was a bit surprised to see Sven up top. And then from there on, I was just like, whatever, I'll just have fun. Did my best Cynic steering impression, full locked it into every corner. Front left was at front right was at 10% by the time I finished the race.
And we saw a couple of times you really making very close friends with the wall at the final corner.
Well, it's that one.
Sorry?
It's the champions, that wall.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, and well, I'm going to be champion of this league, so I thought I'd better say hello to it.
Okay. I'm not sure, because they haven't updated the points from the last round. But I think Sven, having won both races, might have mathematically been sort of nearly clinching the title territory.
I'm pretty sure I was completely out of this title fight for 5 rounds.
Well, you certainly put on a very entertaining show, Callum. And one race left to go. I think it's Road America.
Yeah, there's hopefully some people show up for that. Showed up for.
I guess they were all watching the post F1, and it was funny with the safety car and the lapped cars being allowed back through.
Yeah, we had a little controversy.
Yeah, because Valente and Joe pit under the safety car in that first race, and because of that they got lapped, so they were allowed to run lap this because it's such a short lap, of course.
Yeah. Oh, did they pit?
They pit. Yeah, that's why Joe had so much fresh tires at the end of that first race. Although Sven still beat Alessandro, so I guess the fresh tires weren't.
Oh, I don't think Anthony knew they pit. I thought thought they'd been in the crash.
Yeah, well, they may have been. I wasn't sure. I was pretty sure Valente avoided the crash. I think Eric got taken out, and then it was you and Sven who were in the crash. But Sven stayed out, you stayed out. So
yeah, race 2, I just decided to hot lap, as you saw.
Yeah,
it was for tires.
It was certainly entertaining, but Joe kind of just swept up the inside when you weren't looking at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sort of hoping Danny can join in, but he seems to have lost interest because I didn't pick him. I picked you instead, Callum. So I'm afraid we might have to call it an early bath then. And
Cheers.
but thanks, and we'll see you next
Thank you.
week for the season finale at Road America, Callum. And, well, that's pretty much a lot here from Richmond International Raceway. 2 wins for Sven Gielhed, and the title really all but wrapped up, but certainly Alessandro Valente putting up a strong challenge and some good racing action, despite, as we heard from Calambi, a little bit of lag and also just him falling up to the point of just doing hot laps and just having fun, but certainly putting on a show. So we'll hope for more of a great show in Road America next Sunday, of course, which will be the final round of the season. Don't miss it. Keep you updated what time that's going to be. But from me, from Pascal on Race Direction, from Emily, and Tony, Loic, and the rest of the crew at SRL, it's goodbye for now. So thanks for joining us. See you next week for more of the same.